few disagree that the situation with Madden and other EA Sports franchises has gotten out of hand. EA has basically been copying and pasting the same game and releasing it as if it were a new product every year. We're talking about sports franchises that are basically annual subscription, and you're really getting nothing much out of this yearly payment you're making to purchase each of the Madden or FIFA or whatever titles. You're getting the same game, and basically you're being charged $60 for what should be a patch. And even then, they managed to botch each new entry with a lot of technical issues still having gone unfixed. This is just an incredibly lazy effort on the part of EA, with executives not giving the developers enough time to actually flesh out the experience and really give players something substantial with each new entry. And Madden NFL 21 is the worst perpetrator. It is just the worst case of this, and people are getting fed up. And last time I reported how Madden NFL 21 was tied with a user score of 0.4 for worst user-reviewed game on Metacritic in the website's history, with a 0.4, even surpassing Warcraft 3 Reforged, which held that crown for a while with a 0.6. But the situation gets worse for Madden NFL. If you actually go and check out the game's listing, the PlayStation 4 version will show that the score has now gone down even further to a user score of 0.3. It is actually now officially the worst user-reviewed game on Metacritic ever. It's no longer tied for that crown. It's actually got that crown in full. Congratulations, EA. I hope you're feeling that sense of pride and accomplishment that you love so much. And even the Metascore here, that is based off of 17 critic reviews now, has gone down. It was at a 64, went up to a 65, and now after a couple more reviews, it's gone down to a 62. Even critics agree that enough is enough. But beyond the Metascore, I want to talk about a hashtag that's been trending on Twitter. It's called hashtag #NFLDropEA. While it's no longer showing up on trending, a lot of people noticed that around yesterday, between 1 and 2 days ago, this hashtag was like on number 3 trending in the USA. It was up there as one of the most trending hashtags in America. And people are basically calling for the NFL to drop EA and give their IP to another publisher who will actually give a fuck about the quality of NFL games. But here's the thing, I don't even think NFL really cares as long as they're raking in the money, and that's what EA does for NFL, especially with the card packs and the monetization. They've got a good thing going here financially speaking. They really don't seem to care about reputation. And accompanying this NFL drop EA hashtag is people posting videos of issues that they have with the title. So right here we have a Twitter user who posted a video that really highlights how every FIFA game is straight up a copy and paste of last year's entry, just with a few minor updates and oftentimes more broken elements. So you can see right here that in Madden 20, you will find a logo for Madden 19 that was in last year's entry. So right there's Madden 20, right here is Madden 19. This 100% exemplifies what is wrong with the Madden franchise and what is wrong with EA Sports franchises as a whole. And by the way, something similar can be found in Madden 21, where if you go into the game and look around, you can find Madden 20 logos, which shows and highlights the copy and paste nature of this series. They're putting no effort in actually advancing the game forward and actually making a new game. They're just so kind of complacent in this process of rinse and repeating, copying and pasting, that they forget to even change the logo from year to year. It's pretty pathetic. Here's another video posted on Twitter that not only highlights the fact that Madden games have been feature incomplete these last few years and that Madden is in the worst state it's been, it also talks about all of the missing features in the newer entries that were in older Madden games. So let's actually check this out.
the ability to see what team a player played for while looking at their career stats by season, historic teams, NFL Superstar mode, think My Career, tournament mode with Sweet 16 brackets that you can fully customize with or without a fantasy draft, fantasy football mode, situation mode, rival history and rival stat tracking, total control simulation, upgrade stadiums physically and cosmetically, jump into any game in the franchise whether your team is in the game or not. For example, if you miss the Super Bowl, you can play it anyway. Create a play, player morale, end-of-year financial statements, opponent scouting, Tony Bruno show, licensed newspapers with headlines of news, coin toss, mouth guards, export franchise rosters, import created teams into franchise, start a franchise with a created team or 32 created teams. Want to recreate the AAF? Go for it. View Pro Bowl voting when it opens and see it change each week based on how players perform. A dedicated retirement screen. In Madden 19, if a player retires, there's no way to tell unless you go to a very specific menu, and the only way you would go to that is if you notice the player is missing in the first place. And after the preseason, you can't even view this anymore. You can take sponsorship deals to rename your stadium and to make extra revenue throughout the season. Live opponents. This was a feature where if you're playing a franchise and don't want to play CPU, a random player can join for one game and play you without actually being part of the league. Custom fans in the stands. Expansion draft.
So yeah, you get the idea. Over the years, somehow Madden has become less feature complete and less intuitive all around because the focus has become monetization rather than an exciting, true football simulator and gameplay experience. Here's another video that highlights the copy and paste nature of Madden NFL. So these 4 videos are from Madden 17, 18, 19, and 20 respectively. And looking at the Super Bowl celebration, you'll find hardly any difference between all 4 footage, so you can see that right here once the quality of the video adjusts itself. But exactly the same animations, exactly the same camera shots, just exactly the same almost everything, with very minor cosmetic differences here and there, but for the most part, it's just such a completely blatant copy and paste type of scenario where they've clearly put zero effort in trying to make each new entry offer something new. And we're talking about 4 years worth of Madden where the Super Bowl celebration is practically identical from year to year. 4 years, and there's such little difference in how far this series has developed in both the visuals and the gameplay, and again, in many regards, has regressed and has become more broken. Speaking of broken, here is a video showing one of many bugs and glitches you'll find in Madden. Just crap like this that completely ruined the experience, and this isn't uncommon. This isn't something that happens once in a blue moon. They happen often enough that people are kind of fed up with the lack of technical polish for a game that is basically been in development for a couple years now. Again, EA has basically been working on the same Madden framework and game, and within those years, we still got a broken Madden experience that has a lot of the technical issues that have permeated past entries. Stuff like this is just unacceptable at this point when you're charging for the same game over and over again. If you're not even going to enhance this lack of innovation to a point where at the very least it's fully polished, I mean, that's just pathetic, and all the less reason to keep spending $60 on this broken mess of a series. And then beyond that, you've got videos of people posting memes like this where Madden every year, like just the same guy just wearing different clothes. Oh, and here's another glitch. For some reason, this individual got this white screen that is blinding, to be honest, while they were playing Madden. Just for no reason, just because this is just how broken the game is. You've got people highlighting the discrepancy between decades-old Madden games versus what we have now. So, Madden NFL 11, 83 Metascore with a 61 user score versus a 63 Metascore versus a 0.4 user score, which has now become a 0.3. And if we go back even further to Madden NFL 2003, we're looking at an average Metascore of 95% and a generally positive user score of 7.5. Good times that are long gone and instead been replaced by this bullcrap. Oh, and here's another fun one. Here's another bug that some Twitter user posted. The ball's just doing that. Because physics. This is Madden 21. No joke. This is the latest Madden entry. I think you get the idea at this point. I could keep scrolling and just keep highlighting bugs people are posting, complaints that they have. Suffice to say that Madden NFL 21 is a disaster of a game with a disastrous launch, stagnant, lacking in any sort of innovation, just a blatant copy and paste of last year's entry that aims to squeeze players out of their money with an additional $60 fee to basically play the same game except with the latest stats, and to reset any sort of microtransactions purchases, wipe the slate clean so that you have to gamble real money again to earn those rare players and engage with that vicious sort of addictive cycle that the game has implemented. There are straight up pay-to-win loot boxes that EA continues to insist aren't gambling. Yeah, it's just disgusting all around, and this backlash, frankly, is long overdue. I don't know if this is actually going to yield any results. I don't suspect that EA will care all that much if people in the end up buying Madden NFL 21. EA has never really cared about their reputation as long as they're raking in the cash from the whales who, you know, purchase loot boxes en masse, either because they have money to burn or because they're so addicted to the loot boxes that they can't help but spend all their paychecks on these loot boxes that offer no value whatsoever, save for this emotional value and this addictive tendency. EA has never been one to care about how they're legitimately financially and psychologically harming their customers. They've never cared about the quality of their games and the artistic integrity of their products. But it's still good to see that the blatantly egregious nature of the yearly Madden releases is getting a spotlight, even if momentarily, and that stuff like this is still being discussed, and that people are getting more and more sick and tired to the point where they've gone ahead and ensured Madden NFL 21 becomes the actual worst user-rated game ever on Metacritic history. That certainly sends some kind of message, though whether EA will listen, I mean, I'm not going to keep my hopes up. They only listen to the investors, their real customers, not to the consumers. To companies like EA, us, the players, we're just cattle to be milked dry. So this is where we're at with Madden NFL 21, ladies and gentlemen. The reputation and optics of the franchise is at a worse place than ever. And unless EA actually decides to put some effort in and let developers actually innovate with this IP and this game series, the series will continue to garner this level of backlash. There's only so much longer they can drag this same game out over and over again. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on everything surrounding Madden NFL 21 right now, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.